Good afternoon, and welcome to ASU Democrats versus Republicans. And we're here in the Cronkite. My name is Julian Zung, and I'm sitting here for my friend Jason. I'm here to moderate a debate between my liberal friend on the left, Noah Briggs, and my friend on the right, James Arwood. So our first question today is, the Department of Homeland Security could effectively be shut down tonight if it is not funded for the new year. Do you both believe there will be consequences, and do you believe there is someone to blame?
I don't think the Republicans are foolish enough to allow the department to be shut down fully tonight. They'll kick the can down the road, and we'll have another 3 weeks to continue this debate. But ultimately, the ball is in their court. They added the immigration rider. It's their responsibility now to pass the clean DHS appropriations bill that already made it through the Senate.
Well, Noah, I agree with you. We probably will kick the can down the road for another 3 weeks. However, I do believe it is also our responsibility to make sure that we are following the Constitution, and this immigration rider will most likely be passed in the next few weeks.
Clearly, you're not that familiar with the Constitution, because the Constitution says that only the Supreme Court can determine whether or not a law is constitutional. That is not Congress's responsibility. It only passes laws. This is an attempt by the Republicans, a blatant attempt to preempt the Supreme Court when they don't think that the court is going to rule in their favor.
Well, Noah, I guess this is really just a matter of opinion until then, but I do believe that the court will rule this unconstitutional. In fact, one judge already has said that this needs to stop.
Then let the court decide and drop the rider.
Well, I guess that's a discussion for another day.
All right. You're moving on to the second question. How do you feel about Ducey's proposed cuts to education, when much of the campaign was run on the idea that the governor's office was going to be fighting for the education?
Well, the governor's office seems to think that fighting for education means cutting the budget. Cuts aren't the answer. Our public school system is struggling, and it needs help. And cutting higher education or K through 12 is not the answer. We need to increase funding, not force already starving schools to live on even less.
What we need is to have a balanced budget, because our values and such is to have a balanced government. When we don't have a balanced budget, everything goes downhill. This is an unsustainable stand. Governor Ducey is simply trying to make sure that we know that we're living within our means. If you guys want to add on more taxes, then that's a debate for another day, but we will see how much money we have right now.
Governor Ducey is insisting on following an old economic pattern, and that doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
The idea that we should have a balanced budget is a total fallacy. We don't, like, the government is not your family. The government can't just trim back the fat when times are lean, because that means allowing people to starve in the streets.
No.
The idea that we should have a balanced budget is ridiculous, and it's fiscally irresponsible. When times are good, we'll have a surplus. When times are bad, like they still are now, we'll have to spend a little more and we'll have a deficit. That's just the way it works.
No, I can't stress enough how important it is to have a balanced budget most of the time. We've been in an economic desurgence for a while now, and what we need is to begin to figure out how much money we actually have and what that can actually fund. And the debate goes on another day over the other things.
No, what we need to figure out right now is how to fix the economy, how to get people back to work and paying taxes so that we can fix the deficit that way. Economic recovery is the only way forward.
No, people are already paying a lot of taxes.
But
people are already giving a lot of their salary to the government, and it's simply ridiculous.
I will have two last words for both of you
All right.
on this question. What do you have to say?
On the question of the budget?
Yes.
When times are good, we'll have a surplus. When times are bad, as they still are, we'll have a deficit. We need to be able to spend money beyond what we're taking in so that we can get people back to work and get the economy back on its feet.
And I simply just believe that the simple value, a sustainable value for our future, is to have a balanced budget.
Our third question for today is, I think a lot of people want to know when we'll have a balanced budget. And they want to know if this president is going to make that happen. What do you think, Jimmy?
I don't think this president is going to make it happen. He's proven to us in the past that he's not going to make it happen, and simply right now it's not working. We are over $17 trillion in debt. This is an enormous problem in this country, and it's hurting the economy. It's keeping us under, and if we want to have a sustainable future, we have to have a balanced budget. We have to get back to a surplus, and simply spending outrageously on programs that are not working either is not going to help.
Two things. Balanced budget and debt have nothing to do with each other. The debt and the deficit are two very different things, and the share of the GDP that is made up of debt has gone down under President Obama, despite what the raw number may say. To say that we should have a balanced budget, again, is ridiculous. That the economy doesn't work like that. It's economics 101. When you're in a recession, you spend more money because more people are out of work and more people need a leg up so that they can make ends meet.
No, I think the people are tired of being told that they're in a recession. And
they are
this
still in a
president
recession.
hasn't gotten it done. He
No,
simply has not gotten it done.
What
if
people
that's
are
the
tired
case.
of hearing is that they're out of a recession because Wall Street is doing better. That's what people are tired of hearing. They're tired of being told that the economy is recovering while they still feel the pinch. That's what they're tired of hearing.
Well, that's what the president is telling them. He's telling them, yes, the economy is better. He keeps telling them in the State of the Union is strong. But what you're saying is, it's not.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that the president is right when he's wrong, but I'm also not going to tell you that we're not in a recession the way that you would have me.
Well,
we are still in a recession. People are still out of work. Families are still struggling to make ends meet. People who are working can't pay the bills.
Well, then maybe we need to switch presidencies.
Not to a Republican, God forbid.
All right, our last question for today. Congress has received its lowest approval ratings in American history. It would seem that collectively everyone is to blame here. What do you guys think? I mean,
the big problem is since the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, the wealthy have essentially been able to buy seats in Congress. It's much simpler now. It's not bribes anymore. It's not under the table. They're buying seats and filling it with whoever they want. Everyone is to blame. But because that's the case.
And some people are saying it's legalized bribe.
It's so much simpler than bribery. So much simpler. They're buying the seats. Your vote is no longer really matters. And that's a terrible thing to have to say, but it's true. And that's what we need to fix. And until we can fix that, I'm glad Congress's approval rating's in the toilet.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. Congress is not doing well. But what we need to figure out here is how we can get the economy back together, how we can balance our budget to work again for the people. Until that happens, yes, our Congress is going to look bad, our president is going to look bad. That's just simply how it is.
So long as it's the wealthy who get to choose who fills the seats in Congress, Congress's interests aren't going to be to work for the people. It's going to be to work for the top 1% of this country.
I agree that there should be stakeholders from up and down the scale of economics, but simply suggesting that getting all the rich people out of Congress is not going to work. And
I'm not saying that we should get all the rich people out of Congress. That's kind of, we can't fix that at this point. What I'm saying is that we should stop allowing the wealthy to buy seats in Congress and fill it with whomever they please.
And what would you suggest doing that? How to
reinstate the caps on campaign spending that were done away with by the Citizens United decision in 2012.
Do you feel like
reinstate those caps and stop treating corporations as if they were people?
But do you feel like that would limit freedom?
No. It would enhance the ability of everyone in this country to express themselves politically. Right now, we have enhanced freedom for a very few and diminished freedom for everyone else. That needs to stop.
All right, last words from Jimmy.
I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure to speak with both of you, and I look forward to our next debates. And simply put, the values of this country has always been to live within our means. If we can do that, so can our government.
All right, thank you both for being on our show, and tune in for our next episode.